So right now we are solving simplex by tabular method. So the question is maximize. So the z equation is 10x1 plus 9x2. Here we can see we have two different equations down here for subject 2. So there will be two slack variables. Let's say it can be x3 and x4. So we add these variables. The question changes to 10x1 plus 9x2 plus 0x3 plus 0x4. Subject 2 changes to 3x1 plus 3x2 plus x3 plus 0x4, because we'll just take one variable here and one variable here. Same goes here, 4x1 plus 3x2 plus 0x3 plus x4. So this is the new equations we get, all of these three. Now we make a table here. The table is CB, XB, X1, X2, X3, X4, RHS and theta. So here we can see, and we can say that theta is a limiting ratio. So for solving this, XB gives in two different slack variables which we had previously, which is x3 and x4. So we write it here as it is, x3 and x4. Now there are corresponding variables, the coefficients for both of them, which are 0 and 0. Here we copy the z equation, that's the coefficients 10, 9, 0, 0. Now the first equation is this and second is this, so we copy it here as it is. So the equations for x1 is 3, for x2 is 4, 3 and 3, they are nothing, so 1, 1. So 1, 0, 0, 1. And RHS here, the previously we had RHS less than equal to 21, so here it will be 21 and here it will be 24. By adding slack variables, we convert the, by adding slack, we convert less than equals to equals to. Okay, so now after this is done, we copy the RHS as it is, which is 21 and 24. So now we go and remove Cj minus Zj. So Cj minus Zj is, Cj is this value, so we can say 10 minus, and Zj is x1 into Cb plus x2 into Cb, which is these values into Cb. That's 3 into 0 plus 4 into 0, which finally gives us 10 itself. So as it is, we do it for each and every year. 10, 9, 0, 0. For removing this RHS, we go like 21 into CB plus 24 into CB. We don't minus it. So we get 0 here too. So after we get the CJ, we go and we check the highest value from this particular part. So the highest value is 10. So we'll go upwards. So these two are above 10. So divide the RHS by these two. So 21 divided by 3 results in 7. 24 divided by 4 results in 6. So now we check the minimal of theta, which is 6. So 10 was the maximum and minimum was 6. So now we take an intersection of both of these points, which is 4. So 4 is our pivot element. Now for the next step, we get to know that 4 is a pivot element. So x4 and x1, these are both different types of variables. So x4 was already present here, so now we can say x4 leaves, x1 enters. As this is done, we then copy out the previous stuff, which is x3 as it is. We can say x3 here and x4 left and x1 entered. So copying x3 as 0 previously, and x1 value was 10. So firstly, as the new value entered, so we'll find the value for this new value. So for finding x4, we get the whole these values, which are 4, 3, 0, 1, 24, and divide them all by pivot value. So x1 is equals to 4 divided by 4, which is 1, 3 divided by 4, which is 3 by 4, and so on. 6. So now for removing x3, we make an equation. So the equation should be satisfying these both values as identity matrix. That is, 1 should come here and 0 should come here. So there are some rules that we can count as x3 with respect to x1. So we can say that 3 is here and x1 is here. So the equation we form can be x3 minus 3 into x1. So does this satisfy the condition? Let's check it here. 3 minus 3 into 1, which is 0. Yes, this condition is satisfied. Same goes for here. 1 minus, what's this? 1 minus 3 into 0. So 1 minus 3 into 0 is 1 minus 0 is 1. So yes, these both conditions satisfies. Similarly, we proceed to solve this, which is 3 by 4. We solve this, which is minus 3 by 4. This values come as 0. So again, we calculate Cj minus Zj for this particular equations. So again, we go here, 10 minus 0 into 0 is 0, and 10 into 1, so 10. So this value comes as 0. Proceed with each and every one the same way. These values come how? Like we have to take 3 into 0 plus 6 into 10, so which we get 60. So afterwards, from this particular, again we find a maximum, which is this. Take this particular values, divide 3 by 3 by 4 and 6 by 3 by 4. So after doing both of this, we get answers as 4 and 8. So the minimum factor is this. Later on, we select the pivot element, which is 3 by 4. Again, the steps we followed previously. As we can see, x3 is here and x2 is here. So we can say x3 leaves, x2 enters. So we can say x3 leaves and x2 enters. So let's just replace x2. x1 stays the same. x2's value above was 9. And x1's value remains the same, which is 10. So as these values was left, so we again, to find out the x2 values, we take all the values of x3 and divide it by the pivot element, which is 0 divided by 3 by 4 is 0. 3 by 4 divided by 3 by 4, which is 1. 4 by 3 minus 1 and 4. Alright, and now later on we go here. So how do we find x1? We find x1 with respect to x2 and make sure there should be an identity matrix formed here. So for that, we can formulate an equation, which is x1 minus 3 by 4 x2 maybe. Okay, this checks, this also checks. Yeah, lovely. So we can go ahead and go with minus 1 here, 1 here, and 3 here. So after doing this, again we go back to the old step, which is Cj minus Zj. So Cj minus Zj, again 10 minus 10, which gives us 0. 9 minus 9, which gives us again 0. Minus 2 minus 1, and this value should be 4 into 9, 36, 3 into 10, 30, which is 66. So here we can see that these values, which is Cj minus Zj, is less than equals to 0. Therefore terminates. So we can finally write our answer. x1 is equals to 3, x2 is equals to 4, z is equals to 66. Thank you.